Um, that jam coming up in February, the blind jam. When is it? That's February, right?
A blind thing is found here. Time in February.
I was wondering because we probably won't be able to record. It's a week long, right? But I don't know how much music we're gonna be able to record. So I was looking for something in the I was hoping Peter and the Wolf would just be in public domain or like something like that. I've actually had a real. So it turns out that even if the composition is in the public domain, most of the orchestra recordings themselves are not for years and years and years yet.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
Which is a shame. It's prohibitively. It sucks that AAA games have pretty much probably the monopoly on orchestral music, and they're so fucking boring with it. Also, Marcus, in the very beginning of Disco Elysium, are you able to? There's like you can get a wrench out of the car, and there's like a spot on the fence back where the body is, where it looks like this must be for the fucking crowbar wrench thing, right? But I can't seem to use items, and I was looking it up online, and somebody was like, they'll light up if they're usable.
I can't fully remember. It's been a while since I've played that game. But I don't remember anything about a wrench or a crowbar, to be honest. How far into the game are you?
I don't know, 2 hours. It says I've played for 16 hours, but there's no fucking way that's true.
Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. I also played pretty straight man, so I didn't,
I am not being
might
as,
not have seen
I
all
picked the funniest.
stuff.
I've tried this game, this will be my 3rd time starting this game. And, I picked most of whatever I thought would be the funniest outcome originally, but now I'm playing a character. I'm very good, with, I'm physical and, emotional. And I'm dumb as a rock, and I have very little agility. My tie keeps telling me to fuck people.
Yeah, it's been so long, I barely remember anything about that game. I remember pieces of it, but I don't remember much of the game itself. I remember the ending and stuff.
Jeff is
Alright.
here.
I'm here.
Damn it.
Yeah, 1 second.
Our heat has been out all day, and it turned back on for a little bit, and now it's fucking back off again.
You know why?
I don't know why.
You should call someone about that. That sounds awful.
Lauren does not want to call the landlord.
What? How are you ever going to live without heat? It's a fundamental requirement.
She's been trying to fix it herself. She replaced the filter, and that seemed to work for a while.
This is the landlord's responsibility, though. They should be the ones that are responsible for footing the bill for this stuff and fixing it like right away. This is like an emergency. It's heat in the winter.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, we'd make it through a night without heat. That would be fine. The thing is, everyone's gonna be, like, Lauren won't because I already bought it up, but like, everybody's gonna want to plug a space heater in, which is probably what caused this in the fucking first place. And I'm afraid
I mean,
the
that would
house is
be
gonna
like
catch on fire.
that'd be like overloading the
Yeah.
circuit or whatever.
Yes,
circuit
that has
breaker.
happened.
Is that
We
what's
have had
turning?
to flip the switch. We've had to reset the
Yeah, well,
circuit
that'll
breaker
happen. But like
several times.
if that was what's wrong with your heat would, like, it would flip the breaker. Like, it'd be flipping the breaker. It wouldn't just
Maybe.
not work.
I don't know. I told
Do
her
you
to also
know,
call
like-
her dad. Her like mom's husband is an electrician. He could also help, but she will not do that.
Is it not running? Like, just not turning on, or?
It is. It has turned on. It's not turning on. Yeah. Although every once in a while it will for a while, but it's.
Well,
very
those
seldom.
Like it's
sensors can go
overheating or
bad.
something?
One of Sammy's dad works on those stuff like that, and we replaced one of those sensors, and that helped with ours when we were looking at mom and dad's. But those sensors can go bad, but you have to buy a new sensor and shit. And like we had to go to like a custom hardware store to get them to pick it up.
Lauren is afraid that the landlord will show up and see all the damage Rem has done to the carpets, and we will get kicked out on the spot.
How bad could it have been?
It's bad. It's thousands and thousands of dollars of damage for sure.
Did she burn the carpets? I don't
No,
understand.
she just like crayons and slime, all sorts of just shit in the carpets everywhere, especially
With a
in the
good carpet
upstairs.
cleaner, you could probably get get a lot of that stuff up. A lot of that is probably soluble in water.
Maybe. If you saw, I'll take a picture maybe of the upstairs. It's bad.
Just buy a rug. Hallway rug. Alright,
I don't think there's any
Everyone's
chance
here,
he's
right?
coming here, let alone going upstairs. We have never seen him since the day we came to this place. Not even that day, actually.
I still think it's a crazy idea that like you go without heat. Like just that's something the landlord is responsible for.
Yep, I agree.
Alright, I'm just testing something real quick. But oh, why are these all the same? What are the odds? Yeah, that's something that didn't work there. But I figured that out. Anyway, Jeff is here, right?
I'm here.
Alright, I think this meeting we should talk about, I guess, where we're at on everything, and then also, like, we should get a game plan for Monday's meeting. How we want to approach things, write that down exactly what the things we want to ask about, stuff like that. But first, I guess, check in with what everyone's done. So I have Chris, your popsicle stickers will now be the thing that is, that are the things that are shown,
Right on.
instead of the other thing, instead of the reels or whatever I was calling them. And then the carousel should work. So I'll get a build up with that soon, if not tonight, tomorrow. I'll get a build up so people can play. And then I think over the weekend the goal is to get a score screen in and a new present screen in, right? And limit it to 3 rounds, I think, right? And then just at the very end have a end of game screen to show the winner, and dump people back out to the main menu for now. Makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mhm.
All right. That's and that'll probably be the last thing I'm able to get in for. So things I'll be able to get in for before Monday. Anyone else get anything done this week?
Uh,
I've been so busy. I have not been able to do anything this week.
I
No
did
worries, it
things.
happens. Chris
Um,
is sharing. I gotta move the timer around too. Things are in the way of the timer.
So
now.
Dave hasn't seen the popsicles yet. I'll show that too. I did this, and I made a animation for between the rounds, like a curtain thing. Where is it? It's in here.
Good. I started making a certain animation just now, and then I was like, "This is fucking really hard."
Yeah,
All these
don't worry about
folds.
Oh,
it.
you made a
I got.
call. Let me see. I haven't seen it. Hold on.
It's very simple. But I
Alright,
like it.
let me see.
It's like Mario 3 style.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just
That's
that.
nice.
Oh, that kind of curtain. I was going for
Yeah,
like
you can
theater
if you want to make a
curtain,
real curtain for
theater
something that
curtain.
has that aesthetic, I think fine, but I think this fits
I like that.
pretty well. I
Totally.
even matched it with the black of Jeff's
Yeah, I think that looks
stuff.
good. Definitely good enough for a start. For this prototype. I think all this art, even though it looks better than what we had before, will inevitably be redone if we
And this is a prefab. You
go
could
for a
make this
release.
say whatever between the rounds or whatever. You
Cool.
know, draft,
Is
blah blah blah.
that just the same thing back to it like that? That's how you're getting that background color. You just have 2 text meshes there.
This is actually what needs to be done is someone needs to draw something that looks like, or someone needs to make a PNG that looks like this, because this is made up of dozens. Well, actually, it doesn't need to be made up of dozens, but it's made up of like 10, 20 squares. So
I
make a
can make
thing
a
that
I
looks
can
like
make a
that.
shader that does that too.
It's easy.
Long
It's
term.
simple enough with an image. It's easy enough with an
Yeah,
image.
we could just do it. Probably should just do things with images when we can.
I
That's fair.
also right now these are these can be animated individually. These letters I haven't done it yet, but Jeff's going to make me them in 3D eventually, and then we'll change the height of them and make them a 3D object that can pop out.
Alright, yeah, see what that looks like. The I right now is overlapping the R,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
bothering me.
It actually,
Shoved
a
it
lot
in.
of them were more overlapping in Jeff's original. That's actually, or one of them at least was overlapping a little bit like that in the original. It may not have been the eye. This is a little more spread out just because of the way I eyeballed all the tallness pieces. I think it's once it, I'll figure out some kind of movement that looks okay. But yes, ultimately it should be a popping motion, which will take either a fully drawn animation, or if you just get me the 3D things, I can just change their tallness and that will work.
Okay.
Their tallness and their direction.
Yeah.
I made a new join room. I haven't animated any of this yet, but I'm interested to see what people think
This looks
about the
cool.
idea
I
of
like
like,
this.
originally I put these down here as like, where are these? Let's make them, some of these move a little bit.
I was gonna say, you make them all wobble.
Yeah,
Animate a
wobbles.
little bit.
They have wobbles.
Yeah.
Wobbles and floaties.
Jackbox.
That kind
Yeah,
of
very
thing.
Jackbox meets Persona is what all this
Meets a
stuff
little
is.
bit of Nickelodeon, I think, with the color scheme.
Yeah, I can see that too.
But like,
Got stickly in this.
but the So I'll animate all. I'll put little animations on all this. Jeff will give me just the red star and the font here, so that you know, we can make whatever button like this we want. But then this should also
Maybe,
say start.
yeah.
It should be start
Even
and a
with
quit.
all these moving though, that might be a lot.
And
Maybe
this-
if like you can sync these animations on the bottom, because like if these move, there's an animation there. If the quiz is moving,
So
the
if I was
join
to
code
turn
is
these all
moving,
on
like, that's a
simultaneously
lot of
right now, they
things.
would be syncing. They all have the same animation on them, really.
Okay, maybe that would help if they were all.
I actually think that would
working
look worse
together.
though. But the
I don't want to move exactly the same way.
yeah, I would
Well,
want some
I just think that like
randomness.
there's a lot of movement going on the screen. You don't know what to look at,
I think
or like you know,
think
everything
there's that
is
much
fighting
going
for
on
your
there.
attention. I mean, like, but imagine now the quiz, the quit button starts moving, right?
the
What
quit
else is
button I
gonna
was just gonna
animate?
leave
button
for
need to
basically
move?
stationary and maybe make the red part like rotate. And then with these guys, I was just gonna make them wiggle a little bit, or maybe they'd be still until you pressed a button and then they'd wiggle. This is just gonna kind of float a little more in a concentric like orb kind of very very subtle though, where you
Yeah,
would never
that's
notice
what I'm
this.
talking about. If all of them are moving at the same time, that's a lot of movement.
Yeah, I think that's good though. Makes
I
the
don't,
game feel
I
alive.
disagree personally. I think like having so much movement,
The,
we should
oh,
try
and
to
these
using the
guys
movement to
should
draw your
be
attention.
I
these
don't think
guys.
you need the quit button to move.
I think this looks
like-
good. Like
yeah, no,
this.
it looks good.
Imagine it.
Maybe
Yeah,
if
this
the
is
join
fine. This
code
probably
thing was a
love
little.
it.
Well, this isn't the first time. Is this the first time you see the join code?
No.
Okay.
As the
Yeah, this
host,
will
yes,
be,
it will
yeah.
be. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that should be more prominent then.
And like, yeah, we're not even. You don't join. You don't draw your attention to the join code. 'Cause
Yeah,
your
the join code will
attention
definitely
is drawn
be
to everything
animated.
I think
else
that
right
needs
now.
to be like top center or like 1/3 of the way down.
So I was leaving this open
In the
because we're gonna
center.
have more players eventually, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh, maybe right at the
Yeah,
top.
we can
then.
move
Oh,
it.
yeah.
These
I
guys
don't mind
also
the
when
join
you
code where it
join
is,
when
I
you
do
join
just
as the
like
host,
the-
you should be.
Mhm.
Here's the two things I really
Font.
wanted opinions on. Was like when you join or when you're the host, right? You're whichever one of these guys. You get one randomly, I guess. And then all the other ones are blacked out. And then when somebody joins, it makes like a spotlight turning on noise, and they are, you know, they unfade from the black thing drawn on top of them fades to nothing. And then the nameplates down here, you know, I thought originally I put these as stand-ins for you would type in your name, but I actually kind of like the idea of giving them weird, dumb, silly named avatars, so that if they happen to get the combination of this guy and this, right, then they can refer to another player with it, and there's like a meta layer of that. But I'm interested to hear what people think on that.
I still think it's valuable having the name of each person so that you can own the things you make like very quickly. I think you want that ownership of the thing that you made that you're proud of making. So having the name, your
yeah,
name
I
show
think
up.
we can keep the avatars like that. Just they don't need the names. And if like you do get those things, then yeah, you could use that as a reference to the avatar.
I think
the
people
person.
will. I think people will do that. Well, I guess they could still do it. But if you start saying who's Stoner Skeleton, who's Fancy Turt, who's Dr. Funk Empty, oh that must be me. That will lead to that way of thinking to reference each other a lot better.
Yeah, but there's no reason why we can't just put their own names in there. Like that, like what is the downside? I like knowing when everybody's
There's no
in.
downside to
Like
either,
I
but there's
like
an
knowing to
upside
who
to
we're
one.
missing, right? When we're playing Jackbox, I like being able to read the names and go, oh, you know, Jeff, you haven't joined yet. You ready?
Even if it's something that this is just what's in there by default and they can erase it, I'm fine with that. But I think there's value to getting them thinking that these things are might be able to represent them in the comics somehow. Somebody could make Dumb King and he could be named, you know, people could refer to him as Dumb King in the comic. But whatever. I think it's a fun idea.
There's
the
no problem with using the avatars. I think people should be able to build their own avatar.
Yeah, I did want to
and
do
then we
that
could have a
eventually.
fancy.
You get a thing and a thing,
Yeah.
like a character and a prop, right? And the
Yeah.
prop just we make a wrapper that has all the locations per sticker per prop, and
Yeah, exactly. And we could sync that. That'd be no problem. And then the
or maybe
like
just
then
let them do it
that's
'cause
what you
it's
do
that's
while you're
easier.
that's what you do while you're waiting for other people to join. You can build your own avatar real quick. I think that's cool. That would be neat thing to allow people to do. And then that is the thing that they could choose from. Like maybe that comes in as a sticker option for them, that avatar with everything combined and glued to each
Yeah, I
other
think if you,
permanently.
I still think if you give them the ability to just build from the beginning without ever having this setup where they can erase their name and put one in for themselves and start thinking that way, they're not gonna, I still think it's less likely they're gonna do the thing I want them to do, but maybe. What was the third thing? Dave hasn't seen the popsicle sticks.
I saw a screenshot of them. I do like that idea.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, so they wiggle around a little bit. They should do an animation. Why aren't you doing your animation? There you go. And sometimes they just wiggle around like that. That's all their idle stuff for now. Right now they have to be in a line. Only their Y moves significantly. Their X is very constrained so that you can put them in columns. You click them, go
Does it have
down,
you pick stickers now?
switch to something.
Like,
Yeah, this is draft phase.
yeah. Okay, cool.
And eventually
I
they'll
like
have
this,
this white outline, but
It's good. Yeah.
it doesn't like the white outline doesn't work for all the sprites.
We'll figure it out later. For now, we just need to like it works well enough for now. We can improve it over time. It's a good implementation. I
Oh
won't
yeah,
have
I'm
time to
done
make
with
the shader for
this.
that.
You can do whatever with it from here. I wanted to do the. This was my idea. I said this in the chat, but this was my idea for my mock-up for the score screen. So everybody would start same height, right? And that's your score. And then so after every round, it shows you what round you're in. You're in round 1, going to round 2, right? This doesn't have any indication of that on it right now, but it could be something like this on the side, what round there is. If we ever wanted to do things that are like special conditions during the round, like extra points, 2 times points, that could be in there.
We could have the little circles light up with the winner of that round.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. But then what I wanted was when a round ends, it comes back to here, and then like this thing. All right, so they're all this height right now, and one person gained 1 point, one person gained all the rest, right? And so these ones fill up with a little bit with like purple up to where they're gonna be, and then they sort of stretch out toward that. And I thought that they could get like wider as they get taller, so that they kind of muscle out the ones smaller than them. So I was gonna work on something like that, but I'm probably not going to have the time to do that next weekend because I might be going to mom and dad's, and I still haven't talked to dad about it, but Rem wanted to go with their friend up to Nini Paps. And the other thing I might do is Global Game Jam in person with the Philly people.
Cool.
But yeah, that's that. You don't have to follow that. If you have a different idea for how the score screen should look, I'm not really super married to it. It's literally just the first thing I drew trying to imitate the Persona thing, and it's not really quite there. It's very Persona looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it'll. We just need to get the idea across right now. That's it. Yeah, it doesn't need to be perfect. We just need to be. It needs to be more polished than it was, which was way too close to early prototype. Now we're getting closer to like, oh, I can see what this could be. which is good. Drop this in here. Jeff and Dave, or Jeff said he didn't have anything.
I
Dave,
didn't do a lot. Wrestling's happening now, so don't expect too much being produced in the next few weeks. But I did get a couple of just now alternates for the gun, so it shoots.
let me hop over 1 second. Come on, I already hit stream. There we go. I can see now.
Bang.
Okay.
Bang.
We should
Make
make a
it say
bullet one too. Just maybe part
Try
of
to
the
make a
group.
bullet.
You
Yeah.
should let me do some mesh
Should be a
deform
separate
on that
thing.
barrel.
Some what? What?
Some mesh deform, like what I did to the other ones, where I just sort of I give them a fake mesh and stretch it out with that Procreate program. So the gun, this could be its own, but there should be like a
yeah,
before
yeah.
frame one or like an after
Like
frame one.
Like a Looney Tunes shotgun or something.
Yeah.
And then also.
Looks good.
Also shoots a sign that says bang.
Nice.
Very good. Should we make that empty so that people could type whatever they want
I'll
in
do an
there?
empty one too. Same
Yeah.
with the like the lemonade stand. I'll do an empty
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
People to write
All
in
right. Good.
as an
Yeah.
alternate.
Again, yeah, just stuff in. Yeah, if we can get alternates for everything, they don't have to be perfect, just good enough. Because you guys will be, if we get a publisher, you will be redrawing everything anyway. Because we'll need to draw them at lower resolutions. We don't want to just compress them down. You could probably start by compressing it down and cleaning it up,
Are you
but
sure
we
my
need
stuff? You
a.
said my stuff was like 4K, but my canvas
It
size is
is
1080 by 1920.
My monitor's
king
flickering. It's my
size.
fucking computer,
Let me
but
see.
yeah,
Canvas
uses
size
electrical fucking shit.
Let's see here. Where the fuck is all that stuff? Sprite PNGs. Let's see here.
I guess the DPI is something that would actually.
I'll be back in 1 second.
But I don't.
Let me see. I guess it depends. Some of it is. Oh shit. What did I just do? I guess it's actually kind of all over the place, the resolution on some of these.
That's weird because it's all drawn on the same project file.
A lot of
Same
them are
canvas.
actually 1080, but we'll also need 720 stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, a lot of them are 1080. But we will need 720, and also like I wonder if we'll have to look this up, and I don't know what the rule of thumb is, but like there's a lot that have a lot of empty space. I know that you're not supposed to have a lot of empty space in your sprite stuff because it's effort to render the transparency. But Chris can handle that by drawing that custom mask around it, which basically tells it what to even look at all. But it'd be better to start with less empty space. Anyway, we still will want lower resolution images for certain things regardless, which means that we'll be.
I was just wondering if I should change my settings on my project file.
Gotcha. Like we could do, we might be able to get away with 720 for a lot of things, or maybe even like well, I don't know. 512 or whatever it is. Yeah, we'll look into it more in the future. But either way, we will need smaller resolution images at some point.
People still here?
Yeah, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we not be here?
Didn't hear anybody talking.
Anyway, yeah, all right, so yeah, if you can get that gun stuff in and anything else that you can, that'd be ideal. Anyone that's adding anything though, like what do we have on the docket? What can we plan for? Because I want to see what we can get in and make a plan for what we're doing on Monday. So like if you're gonna be able to do some more work, let's get that on sort of on like the agenda prior to Monday.
Did I put those swooshes in?
You did. I don't think we ever added them though. Chris, would you
Okay.
have time to do that?
The
The
is this
action
just for
lines.
Rami? Or
Yeah, I think the action lines could be valuable.
I wasn't planning on doing anything this week. I'm insanely busy at work.
Okay.
Like, if I don't do either of those things next weekend, then sure.
Alright, I might be able to work it in. Yeah, I see them here, action lines. I'll move them to raw ass sprites.
Also, might it
Yeah.
be better to make all of the sprites into one single thing and use the multiple thing and draw the things around them? Will it then not draw in all that negative space, do we know?
I mean, it still will draw the negative space for whatever frame you're referencing.
Right, but you
But
get to define the negative space, right? You get to
well,
chop
you
up
already
the...
get to define the negative space through the render when you do the sprite editor.
I don't know if you do for single sprites.
You do. I remember that's what you're drawing. You're drawing the collider box, but that collider box also cuts down on that negative space. It's like what that box that you're drawing around there is like what the
Oh, I thought you said at some
render
point that it
will.
just keeps all the negative space from the...
No,
Okay.
that was the point of using the editor. One of the main points of using the editor, aside from getting the collider to be better or to reduce the number of triangles. But that was the major point of, or that was one of the major benefits of the editor. All right. Well, let's talk about then what we're doing on Monday. Let me get the summary up again.
The only question I want to ask him is what do you know about the Jackbox market and why do you think there are so few competitors in that market, and do you, like, do you think this could do something there? That's it. And do you want to hang out sometime? Can we be friends?
All right. Let me start a Google Doc of a list of questions that we want to get covered. All right. First, I agree with what Chris says. Basically, what is the state basically of the Jackbox market?
Why does he think that that there's so few competitors there, or am I just unaware of the competitors there?
There are, right? I would consider Garctic Phone to be a competitor. There was one for like PlayStation. Yeah, they exist. I think we just aren't tuned into it.
I feel like we looked them up a while ago. I found a couple, but not like a lot.
Yeah, either way, it's not huge, it's not an overflowing market. Why? Like why is that?
I guess we could say, is this a space where we could compete more easily? All right. I guess we should talk about our business model. Get feedback on the business model, right?
Hmm.
In
Yeah.
general. So,
Should we
talk
put our game
about.
on Steam? Like, should
Well,
most
we're
people
going
be
to put
playing
our game
from?
on Steam,
Yes. So,
but the question for like how we handle that monetization are we a Steam only platform? Because and even that, I think we already know a lot of the answers to that, right? It's
you
like
might have very different answers though. Like, you might, you might have a different take on it.
Steam is like is where you're going to get recognized, but you're going to give 30% of
Or
your income
actually,
to
not
Steam.
are we going to put our game on Steam, but should most of our players be playing on a desktop build through Steam?
That I already know that answer too. Still no, because the whole point of WebGL is that you can play from anywhere.
You could use your phone as a controller, right? Yeah, I get that, but like,
So most of our players will be playing from their
I still
phones.
think I would want to play this personally from my desktop always. I would never want to play this game on a phone. But
Yeah, but we're not going for the person that knows games and had a computer dedicated to playing games. Like we want them to play it too, of course, but like the benefit we have to WebGL is market size. We can get the average person to play or to give it a try. Someone that has played Jackbox before would give this game a try, ideally. Someone that has played that drawing game, the Pictionary game, whatever the pre-Jackbox thing.
that's really my only. I don't. What would you ask him about that? About, yeah, related to monetization and business model.
I want to ask him if there's anything that we're missing in terms of costs. So are we missing or not accounting for anything? So we have our CDN, the just general relay from Unity, and then the host for the build. Those are the three costs. The host for the build right now is free, but could expand if enough people are downloading the game. We would likely have to actually go to a dedicated provider for the build. So that would add to costs. And then, what do you think? I guess, what do you ask him what he thinks about the paid sticker pack business model? Additional income model rather.
Yeah. What should we charge for this game? Like, yeah, how should how are we can just say we don't really have a plan right now, right? So
No,
how?
but I plan on coming up with some sort of cost before this meeting, some sort of like analysis for that. Like I feel like we should have something going in with it to talk to him
I
about.
like framing
But like,
that personally. The way I like to think about that is in terms of like server hours per somebody buying it, like, and
well, we
how
could
many for their friends, like for their average amount of friends, how much time if we are going to charge up front for it. Or should we even charge up front for it? We can ask him. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think we will need likely will need some upfront cost from a host.
I also feel that's probably the case, but maybe I'm
to,
wrong.
to
I have no idea.
be sustainable. Yeah. And that's and also like how does this model is this model appealing to a publisher? That's the other thing. The goal here is to get published, right? Or to get a publisher.
Yeah.
So really, that's actually maybe that's one of the core questions of all of these is how would a publisher feel about this? Here, appealing. Okay. Yeah, I'll put that in the other one too for why the Jackbox market one. Is this a market that publishers are engaging with?
Feels like the answer to that is not really. Although Gartic Phone probably self-published, right? Even when I look up games like Jackbox, I'm getting returns like Overcooked, like games that are not really the same
Yeah.
type of game. What was the other one we could think of? Gartic Phone, the MSD3K one.
MST3K one, I get like you could put those like remember all those those like tablet games like draw like where you would draw a thing and someone would guess it while the drawing was happening, try to guess what it is, and the longer it took for them to guess,
Oh
the
yeah.
less points they get. Like it's
Draw
kind of in that
something.
category. Yeah, draw something. It's kind of that. If like I consider Jackbox to be an iteration on something on that kind of thing too. It's not as direct one-to-one, but it is somewhat similar. Yeah, What the Dub, which is the
I doubt any of those games have publishers other than I don't even like Jackbox.
Well,
Other than
no. What's it
Jackbox.
called? Publish draw something like
Oh really?
King or Zynga or
Zynga? Okay.
something.
Okay. Right on.
and we're also not asking for a lot in the grand scheme of things. All right. What else do you want to talk about? I guess obviously we'll cover the pitch deck. And really just get us feedback on that in general. Nothing too specific. I don't think that we had to ask about that. I don't think we have super specific questions that fall outside of the other questions we'll be asking. God, I just had the other thing I wanted to ask and I forget what it was. Not the pitch deck, but how the like publisher networks and stuff. We have the one that we want to pitch to, but like we really should probably be pitching to multiple. How do we go about finding publishers to pitch to that we might be a good fit with, and getting their attention to getting them to even look at it in the first place? Okay. Anything else that people can think of?
I got nothing.
Well, I'll also I guess cover general game feedback. We'll want to allow some time for that. Sorry, I'm reading the summary of what this meeting contains. Oh, also, how do we want to handle Monday? Like, all right, if it is only one person, because we have this capacity thing that's just not clear what that is. Is it cool if I'm the one in that meeting?
Yeah.
That's fine by
for
me.
sure.
I can't. I'm already gonna be missing work if I do it, so I'm fine to not do it. Also,
Okay.
I would definitely get super nervous if it was just me and probably not talk about anything important and just babble.
And that's why we have these questions to follow to guide us through. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that is on plan. So right now, if we can have multiple people, both Chris and Jeff, you both are planning to go.
Yeah, I think I should be able to.
I have a fake
Okay.
meeting on my calendar. So
All right,
nobody
I
should
will.
bother me.
I'll see if I can get some sort of clarity on
What time is it
the
again?
format. Let me go look. Hold on.
8 o'clock, I thought.
I want to say 8 or 8:30. I don't remember which one I picked.
Yeah.
One
Oh, should we
second.
ask him, like, is the amount that we're asking for, like, should we ask for more?
Oh
Too
yeah, good
much?
idea. Publisher. Yes, that's a good point, Jeff. Is 200,000 an appropriate amount? A realistic amount, we'll say.
And you said he'll write up notes after this for us, or
No, we could pay
something?
him to, but I didn't opt for that.
How much is that?
Maybe we
I've
recorded.
$500.
$500. Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know it's bullshit. It's a lot. That's a lot for people. I think he's trying to target actual studios and not so much random people like
Yeah.
us, but we can pay for the 250, so that's what we're doing.
I bet he works with a fair amount of people our size.
Yeah, probably.
It's just like he's probably making, so this is an hour and we're paying him what, 250? To write up a thing probably takes longer than that, so that's he values his hour. His hours don't come
He
cheap.
knows his worth.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let me get that time also. Why can't I find my other Gmail account? Why won't it let me log in to my other Gmail? Here we go. Here we go. Monday, January 20th, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So that's gonna be 9:30 your guys' time.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And once I'll see if there's a way I can like ask for clarification or something, or like hey, is this a limited thing? But it's just through Google Meet, so I don't think he can restrict that to one person, right?
I don't know.
It could be like an invite only thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
if I have the invite, I have the link to where the meeting will be.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll share it.
And you share it with all his friends, and it's actually his birthday party.
Woo. Yeah. All right. Any other questions that we can think of? The dollar amount one was a good one. And then we'll explain to them basically what we plan to do with that money, I guess, too. Which we actually haven't fully, like, we plan to pay me to work on it full time. I assume that you guys, or we talked about if you guys would want to take some of that or not, but maybe we should have a breakdown for how we're going to spend that. Because I doubt that a publisher is going to want to, like, I bet his first comment will be like, well, what are you going to spend the money on? And then if we don't have a down to the final dollar plan, then it'll seem a publisher wouldn't want to hear that, and that's going to be one of his comments.
Yeah.
I don't need $100,000 to work. I could, I could just take my base salary now. Would be fine. It would not be my favorite thing, but it would be fine, honestly. My base salary plus whatever it would cost to do healthcare would be ideal. So let's say like 75,000.
I do think you could maybe still get away with just saying just for me to work on it with health insurance for a year or two. Or when did we say it was coming out in the slides? Whenever that is, however long that
This
is.
year we didn't. We just said
I
2025.
mean, isn't what do companies, small dev teams spend their money on other than living
Marketing
expenses while they
maybe.
work?
Marketing would be part of it, and
But
then
wouldn't that be the publisher's job if we get a publisher?
No,
Wouldn't
it
that
is
cover
not. It is
publishers?
very explicit
it's
on
a
their
budget,
thing.
yeah.
It's I think it explicitly said somewhere like we're not going to market you, or I don't even know what like.
They said they're a very hands-off publisher. Basically, they're just a funding club.
Yeah.
And they'll promote you through their social media.
So we're paying for
which will help.
Yeah.
Like being retweeted on the fucking Among Us social media account probably would do more for us than we could do alone with.
There may not be a
$50,000.
better company than this, honestly, for us to partner with, like, because there is some overlap, I think, between Among Us and those types of games, and I think the audience for it is good. But like, whatever. It's really about the money. People are gonna play it or not play it.
I assume we want to keep maybe 50,000 of that, at least 50,000 to cover base expenses for the first year. Most likely, it'll never get anywhere close to exceeding that, but 50,000 for that would be.
I think the biggest point against us, and he'll probably ask this, is do you guys have a Discord? Do you have a following yet? And we should ask him what to say about that if we do get to talk to publishers. That's a good one.
So 50,000 for. Let me get this amount down first, and then we should talk about that. For base.
For server costs, you mean? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, server costs. Yeah. 75,000 for just for my salary and medical. 50,000 for server costs. 25,000 for marketing.
Or we could say
What
up
are we
to
doing with the rest of the other
50,000
50?
for the server costs, because it's like, oh, we'll scale it as we maybe. I don't know.
Well, no, we can just say on back. Like if that many people are playing our game that it goes over that, then we should have an income at that point enough to, and that's something I should figure out in terms of the numbers. There's a lot to do before Monday. I think I can get it done. 50,000 will be save for server costs just to make sure that we can cover the cost of running servers. And then what are we doing with the last 50,000? We could hire some artists to work with us. We could pay you and Dave artists.
We could all just split it among.
I think it just goes into, in reality, it goes into a bank account and we use it. It's our rainy day fund. We use it to try to build on the game, or if we don't think there is a build, then we take it home.
Miscellaneous expense that we're.
Yeah, miscellaneous expenses, I guess we could call it.
Like if we have to go anywhere for some reason.
That's true. Going like hotels and like if we go to PAX and stuff, if we want to buy like a PAX booth or something,
Oh,
that
that's a good
technically
one.
could be
That's a good
considered
one.
marketing.
That's not very expensive. That we could get away with that for like 12K probably. Not even. Just
I mean,
whatever.
in my mind, that's fucking
Like, or
expensive. But
sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
well, I
should say
mean, with
5K.
that, and then you would need to buy
The
the
booth is 2.
computers for people to play on and such and such.
yeah.
Well, by
Not
then,
just the booth.
I mean, well, by then hopefully the mobile stuff will be up and running really
yes, I
well,
was gonna
so they'll
say,
be able to play
is
on
this
their
PAX
phones.
2026 we're talking about, or this year? PAX
When
2026.
was it? When is PAX? Is it summer?
I don't know.
There's a summer one and
Yeah,
there's
they're
2 of them,
on
right?
different coasts, so yeah, west and east. But I don't
The
remember
summer
which
one
one's
is
which when.
the August one is East Coast, I think.
Okay.
Or no,
So
it's the March one is the East Coast.
See, that seems
oh,
early for the
that's
mobile.
too early. Yeah, that's too early. We could do West Coast. Anyway, we can figure that all out when it comes in. But we get miscellaneous expenses. Maybe that then actually like that's part of marketing in my mind. Um, yeah. But anyway, we can. There's at least something.
The information I'm going off of is 15 years old. What I remember about
Chris,
PAX.
you had brought something up. What was it? Remind me.
I don't remember, but it's on the stream. I'll find it.
Um,
No,
Discord.
brain is working. Oh, they're gonna ask. I think he will ask. I could be wrong. Do you have a following yet? Do you have a Discord server? We don't. Should we? What should we say if a publisher asks us that question? Because I
Lie.
honestly,
Say you are the most famous person.
like some of
Don't
those,
even know.
a lot of those, no, maybe not a lot, but at least a couple of those pitch decks that got funded had followings,
Yeah, I saw
and
that. Yeah.
that was one of their slides.
How can we spin this?
Yes, exactly. How do we say this too? If they ask us that, what should we say? Probably something like we're still in prototype and we haven't even really gotten
Yeah,
to that
we
stage
haven't
yet.
tried at least. We really haven't tried on this. We
I
could
made us a
show
blue
this
sky.
to
I've
we could
literally
show this to the Philly game mechanics people, and that could give us some people trying it out. Word of mouth wise, that would help. That could help. But I think we need to be like on fucking TikTok and shit, which if TikTok survives, because that is where people are going to like. And if that will be somewhere
Oh,
where it could catch someone's eye and
is it
they'll
not
go
a
look at
foregone
it.
conclusion that TikTok is gone? I thought that was decided.
No, there. We'll see like what what Trump administration does. They may like either reverse it or find some way to prevent it. Also, there's a possibility of TikTok selling itself to Elon Musk.
God damn it.
That is, yeah.
This fucking, or not about that. My fucking monitor keeps flickering and I'm worried that something's going on with the power and my computer's gonna die.
I have my computer on a UPS so that nothing can destroy it. Cleans the power coming into my computer.
clean power.
All right. What else?
That's all. I think that's plenty. I think, yeah.
I mean, we should, if you think of anything, just text it over. But we should try to come up with every possible question, and then I'll order them by a priority and make sure I hit the important ones. Yeah. We're only getting them for an hour, so we really need to make sure that we're using our time wisely and covering all of the points that we need to cover. We'll try not to get caught up on small things. And we can, get into the details on a lot of this stuff if we have time at the end. Yeah. All right, so right now we have 7 questions. What's the state of Jackbox market? Why are there so few competitors? There's one question. Is this a space where we could compete more easily? And is this a market that publishers are engaging with? That's sort of question 1. 2 is business model feedback. Are we missing anything in terms of costs? So we have our CDN, the relay, the host, and the hosting service for the build. Hosting service for the build. What does he think about the paid sticker packs, additional income model? Yeah. And so I guess business model or monetization, I'll call this. And that is, what does he think about the additional sticker packs? And we think an upfront cost will be will likely be
Advisable.
necessary. Yeah.
Also, with the third part of the first question, I would make the language more neutral, just to not
Is there a space? Is this a space where we could compete more easily?
Yeah, maybe have that just end at compete. That's a minor nitpick though. I'm just trying to be, just like on the we should try to phrase these in a similar way that we did when we did this for the Rune game, remember? Like a like a very neutral survey-like language.
I'm gonna start with, is this a market publishers are engaging with? Because that's the most important question on that one. What's the state of the Jackbox market? Is this a market that publishers are engaging with? Why are there so few competitors? At least from our perspective.
Or like what? Yeah, what I want to know is like, what does he think it would take to dethrone Jackbox?
I'm not looking to dethrone Brett Jackbox. We don't have a game that is that.
Or like be as popular
accessible.
as like no game well, maybe Draw Something. Draw Something could be one of those ones where it's like, because everybody in it, like, because it's so casual, it actually sells. It's like, this year the most popular game was like American College Football. I forget the actual name of the game, but like, anyone who's a gamer probably hasn't heard of it, but a fucking million people own it. So maybe that's the case. But yeah.
Would he have advice on building a following or marketing at our budget?
He probably would. He probably had. Yeah, let's get some advice on that too. How do we market? We don't know anything about it. Please tell us. God help us. Phrase it like that. Just neutral, like I said before.
Yeah. Marketing. I'll even say, so I'll put a little some sub bullets on that of like, we besides the following.
You should, if you are the only one allowed in, Marcus, please ask if you can record it and record it if you can. If he says it's okay.
I'll ask it. Making
Sounds like
it
a reasonable ask.
TikTok
People must
slash
ask if they want to remember.
Discord
Yeah.
slash.
I was thinking though maybe he would do it to protect himself from like somebody being like, you gave me bad advice and I can prove it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't want you recording. So besides making,
I guess then all his advice gets out there. You can easily just put it out on the internet. Then he could just sue you. You could just say it's for personal use.
Can you sue consultants for bad advice? I'm not gonna do this. I just want to know what he might be thinking about this. So the recording.
Ask,
Yeah,
ask him that.
Yeah, open with that. If their recommendations was demonstrably negligent, causing you financial losses, if you can prove their actions fell below a standard of care expected for a professional in their field, I think with that art form like games, it would be hard to do that. So he might be okay with it. I don't know. Just ask.
Also, like in terms of timeline, we're gonna do. He wants 10 to 15 minutes to review the pitch. So let's allocate some time here. Just to get an idea of what this looks like, this time breakdown.
I wonder if that's you pitching, or he just looks through the deck. Probably just looks through
That's
the
the
deck,
thing.
right? Because that's what people
I
are gonna see.
assume I'm hoping that we just like look through it together, but like he might expect a pitch, but how many people actually get to pitch?
That's
in a
I
session?
don't know if these seem
To
like
be like, I don't waste my time on doing a pitch. You just read it. I have an hour here.
I mean if
Yeah, well, I'll just be like, hey, look, we don't have our pitch is sort of made to be read independently of us. We could go through it together, but we don't have a prepared like slide by slide presentation that I can go through, because we aren't like no one's going to give us that time of day to just bring us in.
it might be the
I
case
think
that
he'll
most people
understand that.
don't pitch, that it's just a set of slides that other people read and then you go in and talk to them more in depth. I'm sure if
This also might just be the pitch that you get once someone reads through your slides. That might be what he's talking about here in this feedback meeting. Like, hey, someone's looked at your slides, they're interested in your game, they want to have a meeting. This is the prep for that.
yeah.
That might be because it's just a go into your pitch sessions more confidently and aware of your potential competition. All right, so 10 to 15 minutes for the pitch, it says, for reviewing the pitch. But I actually bet you that's going to get closer to like 20 minutes.
If we do have to present to a company, I can do the presenting part. I did very well at that. I don't know if I told you guys. Do you guys remember when I used to do the business plan competitions with Thomas?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that.
We got money for some of those. I was bad at the questions part though, but that's because his businesses were nebulous and people were trying to ask real questions and I was trying to answer them and he was trying to answer like a politician. So I might not be bad at a game, the questions part in a game thing, but I could do that.
Yeah, we can probably gear towards the individual company that we want to go for, sort of thing. But yeah, I don't mind if you want to do some pitching. If we
I would
get that
want
opportunity.
if I would want
Maybe
someone
you can
there
make
for the
yourself
questions
fucking
though,
presentable
in
for
case
once,
I
Chris.
no, I have to look
You
disheveled and
slob.
shit.
Disgusting.
That's how they know I'm an
Pig
artist.
man.
All right, so I'll say 5 minutes for introductions. Right, now, like that's probably if we have multiple people. He's probably gonna ask about our team, ask about who we are, you know, about the game we're making.
When do I
Probably
get to
10
do my
minutes to show
song?
off the game. Are you gonna be there, Dave? You can't,
No,
right? Because you
no,
have
I'm gonna be
work.
working.
Yeah. All right, so 5 minutes to introduction, 10 minutes to show off the game, 20 minutes
I
for
will be
reviewing the
working,
pitch.
actually.
Already we're at 35 minutes. And then that gives us 25 minutes left for these questions. Hopefully that all pans out. That's a lot of questions for 25 minutes, but I think we can do it. All right. Just to give an idea of sort of the time frame we'll be working in. All right. If anyone has any other suggestions, let me know. Shoot them over. I will. I'll try to get them in. Maybe I may not be able to get all of the maybe I'll get the end of round thing in, but it'll still be in infinite mode for now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because like he gets it, you get the idea, right? You don't need the end of the game to
yeah.
figure it out. Maybe I'll just get the scoring, like here's the winner, and then move on to the next thing. Scoring and stuff
If
like
it is
will
a
come soon.
one person capacity
lot.
thing, it's just gonna be you and him playing. So it's not gonna you're not gonna be able to show him that part's not gonna come into play anyway. 'Cause
Yeah, and I wonder how much like that's actually probably the most stressful part is
making
get
a
us
good
into
comic.
comics. I
Yeah.
gotta make something
I
funny
was
enough
going
for
to
him
say as
see
a
the
joke, but
value.
it's kind of serious. Do you want to
We should come up
pre-prepare your
with-
stickers so that you can come
Yeah,
up
well,
with something funny?
Fake it, yeah.
Yeah.
We could try to.
And you
think
could
about that.
even tell him after. You could be like that. Just so you know, I was real nervous that I wouldn't be able to come up with something funny on the spot, so I pre-programmed this in. But and give him some easy ones.
I'm hoping the slides help with it too, though. Like that gives some example of what it will be. But yeah,
It's not a terrible idea to pre-program them in, just so he gets the
yeah,
best.
so it's an
off the
option. Maybe
screen.
maybe I'll spend, maybe I won't do okay, Dave, we get it. Hi.
Hello.
Maybe I won't do the scoring round or the game end state. I'll do a slightly improved presentation round, and then go through and fix up there are some other lingering things that need to be improved, bugs and shit.
Well, you
Go through and
fix up
just fix that.
the join screen. Not that that super matters, but I think
I
that
could, yeah.
screen,
The join screen looks pretty bad right now,
it's
especially
terrible
because a
looking.
lot of those icons
Yes.
just don't load in. They just don't, or the icon will load in, but the thing in the middle doesn't show because of the stupid mask shit. That just breaks for no reason, and you have to remake the object, and I still don't know why that is. But yeah, I can make it just the horizontal one.
Honestly, it could even just be totally faked right now because he's gonna join second, and assuming we're not all able to play, I guess. But
It's fine. Yeah, I mean,
it's not
I can
critical,
make. I can like. There's not that much difference between yours and the one I have now in terms of how it functions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very easy. It's literally just putting the stuff in the room and making a black silhouette for over each of the things instead of a thing that a black silhouette that disappears rather than a thing that appears. So just swap that out for a black silhouette that disappears.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I can at very least get rid of the mask, get rid of the stupid icons, and yeah, show that. And then I guess I would want to take the pre-made character thing and show it for the winner screen, just show it in like the bottom left corner or something. Maybe we should do in Dota right now. Every time you get a kill, you get a Christmas hat stacked on another Christmas hat, and then when you die, you lose all your Christmas hats.
I'm down. Also, if you want to just do some crazy physics shit,
we should make a winner hat.
Yeah, something.
Every time you win around, you just get a hat, and then another hat, and then another hat, and we just get different hat stickers.
If you want to do dumb physics stuff like drop a physics like thing on a like a sprite's head or something, I would be down for do whatever.
I'm not gonna play around too much, experiment too much. I just want things to be functional for like I think having the carousel in there is good. It is a big improvement. Hopefully, actually, yeah, we do get. Maybe I'll play with two. I'll join with two sets so that he sees the carousel in action at least.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get multiple people in, but
yeah, ideally it really would be kind of bullshit if he's just like, okay, only one person, but maybe he does that on purpose because he thinks that you get more out of the meeting with one person being a representative than a whole team.
I could see there being a too many cooks in the kitchen thing, but like, and like people like pulling on all sorts of directions and stuff, but like, so I could see him not doing it because of that, or to protect himself from being sued by angry people whose game didn't take off, type thing.
We'll see. All right. Yeah, I think this works. I think this is a good start at least. Save this and I'll use this on Monday. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, if you think of anything, just text it. But I did think this is a good. At least we're somewhat prepared for it not going in blind. I'll think about it too some more. As I get closer, I'll be obsessing over it more and more.
I mean,
So-
don't if like. There's also some value to letting him lead some of the time. Like we don't also need to regiment out every minute, you know. Like let him go.
No,
where
but
he's
I
gonna
want
go
to be
for.
prepared in
Yeah.
case that is the case.
Yeah, if there's a
he
lull and you
has
need to
better
make use of the
ideas.
time, then use it. But if he's asking for stuff, I think just let him cook and then try. If you haven't gotten any questions out by the time like 20 minutes left rolls around, then just start launching into him maybe. 20
Yeah, that's
minutes
cool.
left over. I mean, I think we could get most of the answers to that in left over. It's a shame. I really thought we were getting notes from him, and I wanted him to answer that in the notes and like come back with some research into the market. Maybe I'll pay $500 for that.
I wonder if he would have to know about that ahead of time, though. I don't know. We could do a second meeting, like, but then it would be another 250, and then
Even
then
if
you're
it's
doing
wasted,
250 plus.
yeah. Even if it's wasted, it's like whatever. I learned. I'll have learned something. Maybe not what I was hoping to learn.
Not to trust your heroes.
yes, exactly. He's not really a hero of mine. I just think he's famous, but he's cool. He seems cool. If he gets canceled, like take it back. But he seems pretty rad. Most of his stuff I've seen on Twitter, I agree with. Again, if he has some fucking weird shit out there, I'd retract this. But I doubt he does. He seems very well liked.
Alright, I think that's all I got. Anything else people want to talk about before we call it?
Mm,
Yeah, I'm good.
no.
Alright,
Alrighty.
well,
Let's turn my computer off before my whole thing breaks. Catch you guys later.
later. I'm just gonna fix this bug and then I'm going to bed.